food allergies are a huge problem in the UK as well.
Hmm.
I think it's something like 1 in 40 Americans has a severe food allergy, whereas I think it's 1 in 50 in the UK. So not that different. We have
Wait,
more,
wait.
but
One in what?
1 in 40 Americans has a food allergy, and one in
Okay.
50
Okay.
uh, in the UK. So a food allergy here, we're not talking about an intolerance. We're talking about actually your immune system involved. When you eat the
Okay.
food, your immune system goes a little haywire. And in some people with a mild food allergy, it can lead to, nausea or vomiting or maybe hives. But in people with a severe food allergy, it can lead to death.
Hmm.
Cardiac arrest, your blood pressure drops, your airway closes, and it's a huge problem. And this is something that didn't really exist before 1990. Like, I don't know if you remember, Catherine, like when I went to elementary school, maybe one kid had an allergy, but it
One.
wasn't as common as it is. And
Yeah.
now,
Yeah.
we think, oh, are these parents crazy that everybody's so worried about their kids saying they have an allergy? But no, the reality is food allergies have become a much bigger problem since 1990.
Hmm.
Why is this? I mean, we don't know. Is it more what's causing this? We don't really know. Is it more of these ultra processed foods? Is that our environment's becoming too clean? Is it that these potentially nanoplastics? Like we just don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But the reality is it's a huge problem. It's a problem for, I mean, obviously if you have a food allergy, it's so stressful for the family. I mean, every time you get on an airplane, every time you go to a restaurant, every time you
Hmm.
travel, you have to be so nervous and so worried and vigilant. And, even if you avoid the food, you don't know what's in the food. It's just, I've seen a lot of families and it causes a lot of stress for them.
I'm sure.
So there have been real advances made in almost leading to a cure for these. So right now, the best thing we have here is immunotherapy, meaning that you expose the person to small little amounts of the allergen to train their immune system to not freak out essentially when it sees it. So that
Hmm.
way, by giving them small amounts of this food over time, the immune system gets used to it. It's almost like a vaccine you could think of it as, so that
Mm-hmm.
when they're actually confronted with the food, they may still have a reaction, but it may not be as severe. But the problem with immunotherapy is it takes a lot of work,
Hmm.
takes a lot of time to go through, and the side effects that people get aren't pleasant as they're going through it. So they now have some drugs that have shown promise as well. So I forget I only know the brand names of the drug because the other names are so hard to say, but Xolair is a medication that's I think it's used for asthma um, that has been shown to help with decreasing the antibodies. That when the immune system reacts, it almost mops up those antibodies so that the immune system doesn't create such an overwhelming response.
Hmm.
Then there's another drug called Dupixent, which I've actually prescribed, but I've only used it for patients with severe eczema. And it really
Mm.
helps for those patients. It's just so prohibitively expensive.
Is it?
Oh
Is
my
it?
God. It
Like
is
what?
so expensive. Thousands of dollars, like $100,000, I think, for the year. Like, don't quote me on
No.
it. Yeah. So some people have insurance. You need to have insurance coverage, basically,
Wow.
or
Hmm.
get special coverage. And these drugs aren't yet approved for use with food allergies yet, but
Mm-hmm.
hopefully soon, one day, maybe the combination of these types of drugs that work on the immune system plus immunotherapy
Mm-hmm.
it could be life changing.